What do you think? Do you think we're on, Miss
We
Veronica?
are live, Miss Jen.
We are finally live. Oh my goodness. All right. I don't see it yet on mine, but I'm going to assume that this is working. So, how
Okay.
are you? How are you, Miss Veronica?
Oh, I'm fabulous. How are you?
All right. Well, listen, it is 3:33 right now, and we have been working on getting us connected together side by side for the last 33 minutes. And I am just so honored and privileged that we figured out we went from Facebook over Zoom over to StreamYard. So thank you for all of your training as you walked me through that process. Meanwhile, everybody that is with us right now on Facebook, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are live now, finally.
We're live.
I know we're on with INPACT Academy, and I'm just so honored to be with this person who's one over there on the other side of me. And I'm going to introduce her in a second. But as you know, INPACT Academy is a platform where we identify and find people throughout the world who are jumping in to make an impact by doing great things for great people. And the incredible power of the internet and of technology during this pandemic has provided both of us the opportunity to connect people to people, missions to missions, personalities to personalities, so that we could link arms together to do wonderful things, creating a drip that rips and not a drop that plops, to create a ripple effect of awesomeness all throughout the world. So it is my honor and privilege at this moment to introduce you to a rock star named Veronica, who is all the way from Canada, which has become one of my new favorite places, and I need to go visit.
Yes.
Now, yes, and I cannot wait. And as I want the audience to realize that I am wearing a blue shirt to honor you with your gorgeousness. And one thing about Veronica is her love of color. And in a package that I still have to mail to Canada, just so you know, this is proof that I still have it for you. Is something colorful in there, which I know you will love. So I will eventually get this to the post office and get it over. So you and I met on a challenge when COVID first hit, because both of us miraculously, and I only met you through that challenge, said, you know what? We're all at home. We have technology available. What can we do? And we both have found each other in 110,000 people challenge and linked arms. And then I want to tell everybody about the incredible challenge that you did, which like morphed into this incredible thing. So if you would just share with everybody who you are in all of your awesomeness, and you know how you went from surviving to thriving, and what that means, and how you've built this entire amazing opportunity for people to grow and make an impact.
First off, I just have to say thank you so much. I'm so excited, girl. We've been trying to do this for a while, and half hour's been like, come on.
It was a good half hour.
It was good. We're creating a blooper reel.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I for me, of course, because we're all online, and then that challenge came up, and where we met, and because we're both very social beings, so I think it was again another opportunity to like connect with like-minded individuals and make amazing friendships, and I'm so grateful. And then through that challenge, actually, their last portion of it was then creating challenges, and how do you do that to make an impact in the world in whatever your niche is. And so I then put a post on there and said, who wants to be on my challenge? And you kindly obliged, and I'm it was just love at first sight. And yeah, and so for me, why I created the challenge From Surviving to Thriving was mine. And that is my life story, which we're not going to get into. We don't have time for. But I, suffice it to say, had a really hard, I've had a hard journey, and life has not been a cakewalk. And there were a lot of dark years of feeling like I was just surviving. I just had my head above water and was watching the world happen around me And we had the analogy in the challenge of the mountain, right? And the mountain, you get to the top of the mountain and you're thriving, right? Your journey along to the top of the mountain is thriving. But how many of us, we look at the mountains or we look at our dreams and our goals and we're like, one day I'm going to do that. One day that's going to be me. One day, someday. And we actually are just standing on the bottom of the mountain looking up at it going, yeah, that's going to happen. But how many of us don't actually make those moves? And so I was living in that place for like a decade. And I got to a point where I knew I had to make a change. I had to try something different. I didn't know what that different thing was, but I knew I had to. And so that then began my journey of climbing the mountain where now I can thrive. And it doesn't, I think the kind of misconception with that word, people are like, okay, that seems really like a bold statement, like a big, bold promise to be like, in any circumstance, you can thrive. And I was at the beginning of the pandemic, after when they kind of opened up a little bit and they were like, go get groceries, but like one person and then don't get enough for like a month and right, like really minimal exposure. And I go to the grocery store and I'm standing in line and I'm on this sticker dot on the ground, right in the line behind this other guy. And I'm standing in line and I'm like, I'm just me and I'm a lot of energy and I love the people. I love strangers. I love friends. I love everybody. And so I'm like, we're all standing in this line. Let's have a chat, right? And so I said to the guy in front of me, I was like, hey, how's your day going? And he looked at me and he goes, do you know we're in a pandemic? And it threw me because there is this like idea that, I mean, and there's people, and I used to be one of those, who I let my circumstances dictate how I showed up in the world and my mood and my emotions and that's not to say there aren't hard days, because there very much are. I spent some time this weekend crying. I'm an emotional gal, but I don't stay stuck there. And that's where thriving happens, is we don't stay stuck in all the things, because you can't control the fact that we're in a pandemic. We can't change that. But I can choose how I show up in that.
And you show up very strong. And it's very true when you say, you know what, there will be days when you could get stuck in the suck, is what I call it, right? And what you've managed to do so eloquently throughout this period of, the pandemic, is that you've really risen above it and you've let people know that you can connect. Yes, the whole world right now is in a swirl of just like chaos. It literally is chaos. People don't know what to do. I'm concerned about people's mental health at this point, for our children, for our families. Divorce rates are going up. Suicide rates are going up. So when I see what you're doing to make an impact to help other people, it really lights me up. It lights me up. It makes my heart sing, because I think people need to know that there are resources out there, that you can reach out to people and people are not scary. And that just because you have a face mask on that's covering you from here to here, you have power in your eyes to So what tools do you use for your tool belt to get you out of the suck and help you? I'm sure you put on a good old pair of galoshes to start climbing the mountain, but like, what kind of tools would you recommend for people who are just like just there and just don't know how to climb out?
I mean, like you said, right now, I think mental health has been an issue for people for a long time, but right now, it's like an issue for everybody. I've had people come up to me that I'm friends with or that in passing who have said, I've never had anxiety in my life and now I'm terrified of everything. And so for me, I've dealt with mental illness and anxiety and panic attacks since I was 15. So it's not a new thing for me, and which is maybe why I was able to kind of shift so quick, pivot and go, okay, it's a pandemic. And I got to do what I got to do. And so for me, so everyone's toolbox is going to be slightly different. But I think the biggest awareness is recognizing it's okay to not be okay. And so in my challenge that I brought individuals like yourself who were sharing your story, right? Because it's one thing for me to share my story, but if someone hasn't dealt with what I've dealt with, it's hard to connect and, and to say, okay, well, then Veronica must get what I am going through. If I've not been through it, it's harder for me to connect that. But I had it was a 34-day challenge, which is a long challenge. And I had 34 individuals who shared their stories. And the idea being that anyone listening would have somebody that they could connect with and go, oh, I'm not alone in this, right? Because the pandemic has separated us all. So immediately funny story, I never had Zoom or StreamYard before the pandemic. And
look now.
Look at me now, right? Like
now you're training on it.
Because we're so social. Like I go out and I visit people. And so suddenly I was stuck in my house and I'm like, how am I going to talk to people, right? And so now I talk to my friends on Facebook, like on Facebook Live or on StreamYard or Zoom. And we like set up a call to see each other, right? I have a friend she's got 2 little girls and I'm kind of like another auntie to them. And I just literally, her 5-year-old just carries around the camera and shows me her house. And she's like, this is my new toy. And then she like, one time she took me on, those plastic, the slides that are in like backyards and stuff. They have one in their house. And she literally like took me up the stairs and down the slide with her. It was like virtual reality. I got a little dizzy. But like you have to figure out how to do life differently, right? So many people, they get an obstacle in their way and they're like, okay, I can't do it. And I'm like, well, no, you just have to do it differently. Right. So I think that is one, it's knowing that it's okay to not be okay. Like it's okay to not feel great. Right. Because the world has this great mask that it puts on that everybody else is fine. When in fact, that is not true. How many people, celebrities, have taken their lives that were like, Robin Williams was the funny guy. Nobody knew. Right? Like he was so full of life and giving and just brought joy to so many people and was dying inside. Right? And so then we feel like, so when I was in it, I just put a mask on and I was like, I'm just going to smile and be happy and be fine. And that is like the worst thing you can do because you don't actually get better.
Right.
Right? Whereas when I can go, okay, I'm having a hard day. I know that I need people, right? I'm a feeler, not a thinker. And I can't think through my problem. So you've met my mother. She's wonderful. And I call her and I'm like, hey, I just need a session here, right? Like, I just need you to hear me out. I just had this thing happen. I need you to help me work it out, right? Because I'm feeling really overwhelmed. Or whatever that is. Or on, you learned about the fact that my father passed away when I was 19. And so on his birthday and on the anniversary of his death, I'm sad. And normally I would like plan to hang out with friends on that day. And I would go for coffee and I would go for dinner with people and I would have people over and just like live life because that's what my dad would want me to do. And so this year it came in April. The anniversary is in April and his birthday is in May and Father's Day is June.
So you got 3 months.
And we're in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not allowed to see people and I'm not allowed to get hugs. Right? So I had a moment of going, okay, what am I going to do? That's fine. But then you have to take an action. And for me, that action was I posted on Facebook to my friends and said, hey, I need you guys to send me a voice clip on this. Like today is the anniversary. I need you to either send me a voice clip on Messenger. if you've got time, call me. We'll do a phone call or a video chat, or send me a little video, through Messenger of something on your day, right? Like, I gave them a bunch of options depending on how much time they had in the day of, you are the people who normally spend time with me on this day. We can't do it face to face, but I need to hear from you. And so I knew what it was that helps me to thrive. And then I asked for that.
Oh, right there. You just said it. I knew what I needed in order to thrive, and I asked for it. I think it's so important that people spend some time knowing what lights them up and what gets them past and gets them over the hump. Now, and I want to spend a little more time with that, because how is it that people can find out what lights them? Like, I always say to people, find what excites you and just do more of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to really tune in and tap into that which excites you, because when you have those moments of suck, it is one way to get out of it. And I know for me, I always talk about the power of gratitude. Is that perhaps one of the tools in your tool belt too, is the power of gratitude in getting past and finding out what excites you and can help push you out of the.
Yeah. No, for sure. Definitely gratitude is huge. I think somebody on the challenge where we originally met said, like, you can't be grateful and sad, or you can't be grateful and angry at the same time.
Yeah, I usually call it, you can't be happy and crappy at the same time.
Yeah, I love your little catchphrases. They're great.
But it's really true. So anytime that you have those moments of the crappy, right, or you're feeling below your line, it's like gratitude is this magic. It's not magical. It's this powerful word, and it's this powerful feeling, and that's why I think it's so important every day to reflect upon all the great things that happen in your day, and to pick one that was the very best, and to just say thank you, thank you, thank you, for the best thing that happened in your day, because each and every day there's always something to be grateful for. Just waking up and having the air in our lungs, right? And I know even for you, you're challenged with some physical stuff, and like you have a lot of mountains to often move out of your way. And that's something that I learned about you, and that fact that you are able to move mountains in many ways to do that. So.
I recently was going, so I have a power chair that I use like 80% of my life. I can walk short distances, but I got the power chair so I could actually hang out with people more, because I live in a very beautiful area that is all outdoorsy people. And so everybody spends time outside doing stuff, doing physical activities, which I can't do. And so I found in my mid-20s, have you ever heard of Frisbee golf?
Frisbee golf?
Yeah.
No, is that like a Canada sport or something?
I don't know. Possibly. But so basically it's playing Frisbee, but there are baskets you have to get it in. Like golf, there are holes. And you have to count, like it's how many throws does it take you to get it into the basket? And there's 18 baskets.
Okay.
Right? Anyways, and so it's in a park, and there's like a bunch, so there's these baskets attached to these, like around these tree trunks, and you throw the Frisbee to try and get it in the basket, right?
Okay.
That involves a lot of walking. And all of my friends, like every evening, that was their sport. And I was like, no one is hanging out with me. Like, because I can't walk for 18 holes, right? Or 18 baskets. And so that was actually the kind of starter of I'm going to get a power chair. I don't need one to function, but I need one for quality of life, because I want to go and play with them. I can throw the Frisbee. I just can't walk from basket to basket. Right? So it's figuring out how to do it. And so a couple weeks ago, that was years ago. A couple weeks ago, I'm with my girlfriend, and we're going for a walk. I'm in my power chair, and she's walking. And we get to this road, and all of a sudden, she's like, "Okay, which way are we going to go? Left? Are we going to go right? What are we doing?" And there was a path right in front of us, like across the road, that went up the mountain. And I've seen this path for years. I've lived in this community my entire life. And I know there's a bike, it's a bike, right? Lots of people go walking up there. My mother goes berry picking up there. And I was like, can we go up there? And she goes, I don't know if it's accessible for the chair. Like, it's not an accessible trail. It's a bike trail, right? Like, it's dirt and grass and right. And she goes, I don't know. And I said, well, let's try it. Like, if we can't, if it gets too narrow or too windy or whatever, then we turn around and we go back and we pick another road to go down. But let's try it. And legit, so I'm 34. I'll be 35 in December. And I've lived here my entire life. We go up this trail and I got to see, we get to this like kind of plateau on the mountain, this flat spot, and I get to overlook the city that I love and have grown up in and see a view that I've never seen before. Because
that's delicious. Because
I tried something new. And I think that's part of it is in finding what it is you like and finding, because I mean, you all kind of know what you like, but it's then pushing past a boundary because sometimes there's obstacles. Time is a huge obstacle for people. They're like, I'm working. I've got kids and I've got this family and I've got all these responsibilities and I can't do the things I like because I don't have time. What it is, and I've learned this, and I tell this to my clients all the time, if you've got 5 minutes, right? If, like, I love doing my nails. I love looking fancy.
And they're blue.
And they're blue. They're changing soon. It just happened, and I was like, we're going to it. Right? Like, I love looking fancy. So I take that extra time. When I got 5 minutes, I'm like, or whatever it is, right? If you like, I love music. Music makes my soul, like it just reinvigorates me. And right. But how many people, I was just talking to my mother about this and she's getting rid of a bunch of stuff and going through like old cassette tapes. And she's like, I don't know, like in CDs. And she's like, am I going to listen to these? Should I transfer them onto my computer? Cause like who has CDs anymore and cassette tapes? But it's like old cassette tapes of like my dad and stuff, like sermons from my dad or different things, and so which are memorable. And so she was like, I don't know, like I don't really listen to music, and I was like, yeah, but you should, right? Like everyone thinks, oh, I don't have time. As soon as I wake up on my phone, I have a playlist that's like my morning playlist, and I play it while I'm getting ready for the day. I play it while I'm in the shower. It's not in the shower, but I play it while I'm in the shower.
You know what? So let's think about it, because we always talk about those magical mornings and that the ways to set up your day for success so that you can start your day thriving and not start your day in the other side. So, totally. So what is, so music is part of your morning routine to get you in. What else?
Also, I'm going to make everyone dizzy a little bit. I have a word wall. Oh, goodness. I have a word wall. Somebody once said to me when I first moved in here, and I decorated the walls before I brought in all the furniture, and they said, your house looks like a Christian bookstore. Because there's like inspirational things all over the wall. I am a visual learner. Again, here's a really great tip. Know what kind of learner you are. Know how you intake information. Because for me, I am a visual person. So I used to, and I mean, none of us look good in the morning. Let's be honest. Nobody wakes up. I'm like pillow crease across the face and, and the puffy eyes and the hair is like really big. I've got a lot of hair. And so I would go, because I'm a visual person, you get up, you go to the washroom, blah, blah, blah. And that was the image I saw myself. That was the first image I saw. And that was then even after I then did this to myself, I still carried the image of the first person I saw that day. So I now have pictures in my room. I went and did a professional photo shoot with some friends of mine and bought some of the pictures, and they are beautiful. And they are on my wall in my bedroom. So as soon as I wake up and get out of bed, that is what I see. And then by the time I cross the hall to go and I look at the girl in the mirror, she's not who I am. right? She's just like, she's a momentary thing, but I have the vision of who I am. I know who I am, and I have the words on my wall. I've got Bible verses on my wall, right? So I create, my home is my space that I get to like remind myself, and right? So I do that with music, which is what I'm hearing. It's like all the senses, right?
Right.
And I have my visuals. I have what I'm hearing. I put on my hand lotion, which has a really nice coconutty smell. Like I kind of touch all of those senses of like,
you wake everything up, every piston.
What do I want this day to be? What do I want it to look like? How do I want to show up in the world? Right.
So how do we, so with kids, that's something that I always get excited to like teaching kids how, like really think about it. Like, how is it that you want to show up in the world today? Yeah. What kind of drip do you want to be to create that ripple? Are you going to be a drip that rips, creating positive energy? Or are you going to just like be a plop in some sludge and like and just kind of put your energy out there in a kind of sour way? So by you doing what you do in the morning now, what, you love your coconut lotion, or you love, putting yourself together and putting your, putting your best face forward, which is so gorgeous. There's really lots of different things that people can do each day and kind of make it into a habit. Is that something that you share with your clients too, about kind of making those like part of a habit?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's not even necessarily, because I'm not really great at habits, because my life and like the things that with my health conditions and stuff, I can't really plan a lot. And so I could say, yeah, this is how you wake up in the morning and this is what you do. But if I have a really bad night and I, wake up at 3 a.m. in agonizing pain and then don't sleep, then I'm going to sleep through my day. And right. Like, it's just, so for me, I'm not necessarily a habits kind of gal, but what it is it's being intentional about your moments. Right. And so even in hard things, so I received a text the other day on Saturday that was not necessarily, texts are weird, right? But it was I didn't receive it very well. Let's say that, right? And I was hurt by it. But then I had to choose, okay, what am I going to do with this? Right? Like, I could then go back to that person and be like, you're terrible. Or I could like try to like see, okay, what's going on in their life? What's maybe the situation, maybe the information that wasn't shared, et cetera, because so many of us are reactionary. And kids, we have to teach kids how to regulate themselves, right? They don't know how to regulate themselves. That is a learned thing. So I don't have any kids of my own. I'm an adopted auntie to a lot of kids because I live in a resort town. So lots of my friends moved here for the lifestyle, but don't have family support. And so I'm kind of the adopted auntie. And I have a time-in chair in my house for the kids. I also have some toys and teddy bears and stuff. But the time in, and I've done childcare now for over 20 years. Like I love children. And as soon as I was 12 and could take the babysitting course, I did it and was like, hit the ground running. Right. So my friends call me the mom without kids, because I know a lot about child raising. And then also I worked, before I was a life coach, I worked as an educational assistant. And so I worked in an elementary school for 4 years. And before that, I was subbing in high school and elementary. So I have a lot of exposure to children. And so I have this time-in chair, because what I've noticed over the years, right, is the kids just don't know how to regulate them. This is why we have tantrums in the grocery store. And the mom is like, oh my gosh, the kid is embarrassing me. And how do I make it stop? And what I like, everyone thinks I'm a terrible mom, like all of those things, right? And the kid is having emotions that they don't, and feelings, they don't know what to do with them. And that's how they get it out. And so I got this time in chair. It's a little wooden chair. I got it from my grandparents. It's really old, and it's cute, and I painted it gold and black. Shocking. It's really pretty. And it's because it's not a punishment thing, right? And so I have kids that are over, whether I'm babysitting them or because I do childcare for money, but I also then like have nieces and nephews over and we do paint dates and whatever. And they will start to get, they're like start to get tense and the emotions come and you can tell the fit's about to come. And so I have this chair. It's just at the end of the hallway because I'm like, this room is my happy zone. This is the happy place. This is where people have fun and we are enjoying life and we are thriving, right? Now, that is up to you whether you want to be there, like whether you want to be that person and enjoy that life. If you choose not to, if you're ready, if you want to have a tantrum and you want to be upset and angry, you're allowed to do that, but not in this space. So you have to go down the hall, down over there, down the hall, and you can sit in the chair. Totally your choice, right? And so, and legit, I had a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, and that was over. And we were having a good time. And then because also kids, like they could be hungry, they could be tired, they could, right, like miss their mom or whatever. And they don't necessarily know that that's what's bothering them. They just know suddenly I'm upset, right? Something's not right. And I'm going to throw a fit, right? So they go down to the chair, they have their fit, whatever, not in my space because you're not going to make me upset, right? You're not going to affect my day. And then when you're ready to come and talk about what's wrong, right, then we can do that. And so I had this little girl, we were painting or something, and she just decided to be mad, right? Or it happened. And I said, do you need time in the chair? Like it's not a like, go to the chair now. You're like, there's no, do you need time in the chair? And she's like, yeah. So she walks herself down to the chair, sits in it and cries for like 20 minutes or something. Right. Cause I mean, right. And I just do the dishes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do the dishes, get some work done. She comes back down the hall. She's like tear stained. And she goes, can I come out yet? And I said, I don't know. Can you? Are you ready to like be happy and be in a good mood? Because that's the qualification, right? I'm like, are you ready? And she goes,
right.
No, I need more time. And turned around and walked herself back.
That's awesome. But you gave them that space, you know, and I think that's what's so important is that just realizing, and even as adults, trust me, we all need it, right? Like sometimes you just need that space to just be still and know, and then just gather yourself and get by. Okay, like I had my, I'll even say to my family, like I'm gonna sink way below the line, and I'm just gonna, for the next, I'm gonna have a pity party for at least 10 minutes, and then I'm good. Then I can get through it because, there's a lot of it. And I really liked before when you said that it's okay. It's okay that to not be okay. Yeah. And the other thing that just resonated with me is that to try, like right now, everyone in the world is experiencing things that they've never experienced before. And that could be really scary for people. But by giving yourself the opportunity to try, and one lesson that Les Brown has always shared with us is that, listen, you're going to fall down. Just make sure you land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up, right? Yes. And just by trying, half the times you don't even realize that you actually like something, and you got to this plateau in that mountain that you had never seen. You've lived there your whole life, but you saw the obstacle of my chair can't get me there and said, today I'm going to try it. And you went and hit, and you got there and you got to experience something amazing. And so many times we'll start on a path and we quit before we get to the plateau to see the magnificence and awesomeness that is out there.
Yeah. I know, right?
Mm.
And I think
Yes.
the other thing that I've experienced with kids and youth. So like I said, I worked in the school district for 8 years. I've run kids programs at the church. I was part of our junior youth because we have so many kids that we actually don't just have a youth group. We have a junior youth, which is grade 3 to grade 6.
Nice.
And there's like 60 kids in that. It's crazy.
Nice.
And yeah, like I've just been involved. And the thing I've noticed is like kids are really resilient.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere along the line, we lose that wonder and the like a kid falls down off their bike and you're like, okay, get up and we'll try it again. Like, good job. Scuff off the knee, brush off the knees. My friend with the 5-year-old that she was taking me down the slide, we went on a walk and she was learning how to ride her bike. And she, I don't know how it happened, but she just like deked to the right a little bit and went like straight into this ditch and like in the bush. Like it was just, her mom was very worried. Like there was a panic.
Yeah.
And, she had a moment, she cried. She was mostly scared because she fell down this really long ditch. And
right.
And she got up and she tried again, and we, we celebrated. And somehow along the line, I feel like a lot of people, and myself included, when I was in that place, that it was just, I saw the obstacles and I was like, I can't climb that mountain. Like I can't hike that mountain. Therefore, I can't go up the mountain. So I'm not even going to try. And it's this, we're scared of failing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think, again, social media, we're using it for an awesome platform, but I think it can be so hurtful, right? And media is just, it can go both ways. And so there's this like, everybody's terrified of looking like an idiot, showing that they failed, like the world seeing that they failed. And the thing that I tell my clients, it's like you said, it's try new things. How are you going to figure out what it is that you like? Try new things. I started painting when I was 26, and my pastor's daughter was over the other night, and we were painting, and this came out, this conversation. I said, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm not really great at it, and I'm not artistic like you." And I said, "Do you know when I started?" And she goes, "Probably when you were a kid." And I said, "No, I was 26. Like this is a 14-year-old girl. She's not even 20, right? Like I had another life of her lifetimes before I tried it. And now it's something I love and I do it all the time.
I know, it's like therapy.
Right? It really, I do. I listen to worship music and I paint a lot, and it is like therapy.
Exactly.
And so it's this idea of like trying new things. Try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you're no worse off than when you started. But when you're going to fail is when you choose to not get up after falling. Like failure is not failure until you actually stop trying.
Absolutely. You just keep going. So many people, they don't know what they don't know what they don't know, so they don't even try. But then when they try, that's where the magic is. And I love what you said too. And we have about 5 minutes. I want to get a couple of other thoughts out of you because I know they're like right there, and I want to get them. But one of the things too is that I love what you said about the wonder of a child, and that as adults, now I'm 53. So I've already lived many years beyond you, although I still sometimes act like I'm 18. That's okay. But it's the wonder of the world, and to look through the eyes of a child, and there is magic and wonder in everything, from a drip that's hanging off the leaf of a sunflower that a dear friend sent me a picture of, to anything and everything. Get out in nature, right? I know, like, you love to be on the outside. Being in Canada, there's some beautiful things out there, getting out to nature. So I just want to encourage everyone to take advantage of that which you have around you. Celebrate the things that are around you, because there is quite a lot of awesomeness there. You don't have to look so far to think that That's where greatness is. Greatness starts right here.
Yeah.
And you uncover it onion by onion, or petal by petal, or bow by bow. And, and I think that's just truly miraculous. And I love what you're doing. And I love that you've taken your life really and used it to impact other people and help other people who are going through either similar struggles, or sometimes it just takes that one person, right? If there's something that you say to make a difference to one person on one day,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that creates a ripple. And that's how we'll continue. And like you said, social media could be a negative place. I choose this program. I choose, and my intention with this particular platform is to overcome the continuous negative news that's out there and highlight those people that are living in joy and living in positivity and wanting to help others, to serve others, to lift other people up, because everyone can do it one drip at a time. And I'm finding around the world, such as yourself, that there are people that they thrive when they serve and help others, right?
It's huge.
So what would be two things, or to tie a nice bow around what you do and how you've uncovered how people are surviving and going to thriving, that you could kind of just give people as far as some words of inspiration to sign off on our conversation and day with?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I've loved this time with you. And I think what I want to leave people with, and what I share with my clients, how I live my life, is recognizing just that. I've said this on many interviews that I've done when people are talking about my business and where do I see it going and whatnot. For me, it's the impact. Mm-hmm. For me, it's, if I can go to bed tonight and I made somebody's life better, if I gave them the opportunity to see a new perspective, then I can go to bed happy. And so a lot of what I share with my clients and the work we do, because again, we've been doing our lives for a while, right? And you get into these patterns and you get into these habits. Maybe this is why I'm not a habits person. I don't know, because I like the new and like to try things. Not to say habits are not good, because they are, but it's really easy to get into your own box of experience. And I had a client recently who she'd been doing the same thing every day for years and found herself really, really lonely. And she shared with me, right? And I was coaching her, and I said to her, and I kind of have this visual, I'm a visual person. So it's like, you've got this box and you've got, right? We've got this right now. We've got a 2-meter reach. You can't be within 2 meters of somebody, right? And so that is your box of experience, right? This is where we live, is in our, like, this is your box, right? This is where you get to live. And what I encourage people to do is, you've been living in this box of, 6 feet, or see, I'm Canadian, 6 feet. And
I gotcha.
I'm like, how many meters was that again? I don't remember. It's 6 feet, right? And so can we maybe take a second to see what is 7 feet away, right? Because so many people think when they're in survival and they're like, I'm so busy and I can't hire Tony Robbins to like change my life, and I can't, uproot my family and get a new job because I don't like my job, whatever the thing is. They think that it's going to take this drastic thing. Mm-hmm. Your thriving could be 7 feet away, and you've been just busy reaching 6 feet.
Right. You've both been allowing yourself to stop at the 6 and not go for the 7. It could be the power of 1 foot, 1 degree, 1 thought, 1 opportunity, 1 phone call, 1 anything. That one thing can make all the difference in the world if you open your mind and heart to it.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is just, again, that idea of of the obstacle is not a can't, turning that can't, not even necessarily even seeing a can't anymore, but looking at an obstacle and seeing, how do I? Right? When something comes in your way, and obviously there are instances like I can't hug everybody I want to hug right now. I'm not allowed to do that. So what am I right? Virtual hug.
Virtual.
Virtually hug, right?
Gotcha. I got you.
It's not the same. But it's then figuring out what are the things I can do in replacement of that are going, because the hug is a hug. A hug by itself is not actually what I'm desiring. It's the connection and the feeling of being loved and cared for by somebody. Mm-hmm. So what are the things I can do in place of that to get my needs met? Again, it's the knowing what it is you need, what kind of learner you are, what's your love language? Love language is huge.
I love the love language.
I know, right?
That's a whole other conversation.
I know. You can have me on another time. We can talk about that later.
I think we need a 4-hour interview.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah, the love languages.
That's recognizing what are those things what are the things that bring you the most joy, whether that's painting or going for a walk or what, and then like taking the 5 minutes you have between this meeting and this meeting to do something you like, even if it's 5 minutes. If you got 2 hours to do it, great. But if you only have 5 minutes, focus those 5 minutes.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. The power of 5. I love it. I love it. Veronica, I just absolutely love spending time with you. You are a bright light. You are a rainbow of sunshine. And again, I just really, truly want everyone to realize that there is power in connection by linking arms with people, with like-minded people. Find those people and get to know them, and you will see how your circle of influence will continue to grow and develop, and you will have opportunities that will come your way like you've never thought of. But the most important thing is that, and in your tribe, you will be able to do things with people and for people to truly create this impact, to truly create an opportunity where your energy is creating that ripple effect of awesomeness. And it is with those ripples that we keep saying that go outward and grow, that will connect so that we can then continue worldwide getting people focused on the powerful energy that is out there throughout this ripple effect of people wanting to do great things for great people. So I just adore you and thank you so much. And I also want to thank you and thank our audience for watching and putting up with us for a half hour of trying to get this figured out. And I must be a new StreamYarder now, so I'm going to have to figure out this tool a little bit more, but I'm so grateful for getting on with you. So I thank all of you for jumping on to watch Impact Academy today. And Veronica, I just love you to pieces. And I know that we'll be having many more conversations, and hopefully we'll see you in the Youth Summit coming up in October, my friend.
Yeah, I'm totally in.
All right. Well, God bless to you. Many hugs virtually. And thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to spend time with me today. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my blue heart.
I love it. Love you.
All right. Bye, hon. Be well and stay safe.
You too.